Hi, so this is we're back for Math 20-3, Unit 1, Slope and Rate of Change. Yesterday we did Lesson 1 where we talked about slope using words and rise and run. And we also did a little work with converting units. And then you had some practice. And today we're going to do Lesson 2, which is calculating slope from a graph. So in the previous lesson, we always had the description of slope in terms of words. Well, here we have to take a look at the graphs that we're dealing with and use them to help us write our slope. So there's a lot of information on the graph, and we're going to use that information to write our values for slope. So it's actually fairly simple. What you do is you use, all of our graphs are grids, so you use the grid to count the blocks and write the slope as a fraction and then at a decimal. Now we're rounding to 2 decimal places when necessary. Sometimes you don't have to round. It's a nice, it'll be like a nice whole number, or it'll only naturally have 1 decimal place. But if you have to round to 2 decimal places when necessary. So let's work through a few examples here. Question number 1. We have our line and we have it clearly outlined in terms of what is going on. So this would be our rise and this would be our run. Our rise goes up if we count the blocks 1, 2, 3. And our run goes over 1. So 3 divided by 1, our slope would be 3. Okay, so it's basically just counting the blocks. If we take a look at the second one, we have our rise there. And I like to, when we're learning how to do this, draw a little triangle just to kind of help us map it out. Our rise, it goes up 2. And our run goes over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's important to count the number of blocks, not just the number of lines. Now, if we're going to use our 2 decimal place rule here, we go, let's see, 2 divided by 5. Well, I don't even need 2 decimal places because that rounds to 0.4. Okay. Looking at number 3. Again, now here we have a slope that goes down. When a slope goes down, it's going to be a negative slope. So if we look in terms of a rise, what we have is we have a decrease. So our rise goes down 1, 2, 3, 4. So our rise is actually negative 4. And our run goes over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, we're going to divide that. Negative 4 divided by 5. 4 divided by 5. I put the wrong number in. So we get negative 0.8. Okay. So important there that a negative slope goes down, positive slope goes up from left to right. Okay, so looking at the next one, number 4, thinking about that, is that a positive or a negative slope? Well, it's going down, so the slope is going to be negative, right? Okay. So here from dot to dot, draw my triangle, it's going down 1, so negative 1, and then over 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 divided by 4 is, my calculator's not doing good things for me. So it's 0.25, but it is a negative 0.25. Sorry, it's so squinchy there on the side. Let's look at number 5. Looking at that one, ask yourself, is it positive or negative slope? It's going up, so it'll be positive slope. And that can be just a little mental check. Make sure you put your numbers in right. So here we have our run and our rise. Our rise, it goes up by 2. And our run goes over by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 divided by 5 is 0.4. Now, did we have that one before? We had a very similar line, so what that would tell us, this, for question number 2, it also has 0.4 for its slope, with 0.4 for number 5. So those lines have the same slope, and we're going to talk about that in terms of what that means. But basically, if it's two lines have the same slope, it means they're parallel. That's just a little trivia there. Okay, so let's look. Number 6, we have a decrease and then our run. So, oops, sorry, Mrs. Finley accidentally touched the wrong page on the sidebar there. So looking at number 6, redirect here. It's going down, so the slope will be negative, right? Okay, so it goes down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and goes over 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it goes down, so I'll put my 6 in as negative. And 6 divided by 4 is 1.5, so that'll be a negative 1.5. Okay. Moving over to 7. So why don't you pause the video, try this one yourself. When you've done it, press play, see if you got it right. Okay, you're back. So we're going down and over. It's going to be negative. So it's going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's going over 1, so my slope would be negative 5. Hopefully we all got that right. Let's try that one with number 8 as well. So try this one yourself. So pause your video, try your answer, and then when you've finished it, come back. Okay, you're back. So we go down and over. It's going to be negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 7 divided by 9, well, that gives me negative 0.777 ... It's repeating. It wants me to round to 2 decimal places, so that'll be negative 0.78. Remember, you round up that last decimal because the 7 is greater than 5. Okay, so hopefully we got that one as well. Oops, apologies, I got a little zealous there. Okay, so let's look. There's some practice questions for you guys to try on your own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a few minutes to kind of go through those and practice them. And there's also a worksheet for you to do. And then we're going to talk about horizontal and vertical slope. Okay, so take a few minutes, do your practice questions on page 8 and 9. And I'm going to have another worksheet for you to work on. And then when we come back for our second lesson, we'll do